Alright, time for another draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com also, video presentation. So still on the subject, mostly, kinetic energy anyway, and related to, of course, the, what the hell's his name again, moldy guy, Steve Mould's assertion. Yeah, okay, that kinetic energy wins and momentum is compromisable. So the stronger law isn't conservation of momentum. The stronger law is conservation of kinetic energy. And levers will be obedient, even though not in my experience they aren't. But anyway, so this Michael Falwell came up again because somebody, apparently he, okay, wrote to Paul Nord, who I was in conversation with, and of course they did a bunch of whatever the trolly behavior, false accusations, blah blah blah, and tried to disrupt a conversation. Right? Somehow you're not allowed to have conversations. It's just they're just so obnoxious. It's almost as bad as Leibniz trying to shut Newton up. You know, same bullshit. They have to interfere wherever possible. Anyway, and so Paul referenced one of this moron's videos that somehow proves 4 pounds dropped 1 foot does the same work as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. Okay, so something with half the momentum does the same work. And no one thinks that's a kind of a bold statement to be making, that you actually can show that to be true. Something with half the momentum can do the same amount of work. It's just so fucking stupid. But anyway, so yeah. So he's got these, I haven't looked in quite a while, so it's all these look at this fancy icons he's got now. So yeah, I fixed mine a little bit too. But it is funny. So they're nowhere near anything. They're not saying anything. How much? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there. That's not clickbait, is it? Pathetic. All right, so this one's titled Draft Science How Much Energy. So we'll click on this. These are 3-minute, 5-minute videos. I mean, it's just a waste of time, no doubt. But we'll read the comments first, and then we'll play the video. So we'll see what they're about, and then yeah, I'll play a couple of them. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it appears that he just goes on and on saying the same sentence over and over, but we'll see if the video actually has something in it. Probably should. Okay, probably should. Well, I didn't do it, so it won't matter. I'll just see if this lines up okay. I have to move this over, of course, for the comments, and I could probably make it a little bigger. Ooh, Piro. Cool. I thought he had been replaced by the biosphere by like a plum tree or something. But unfortunately, still around, I guess. Too bad he can't make a video. Yeah, that's kind of funny. You'll type this rubbish instead. I think his wife probably told him he can't make videos anymore or something like that. Anyway, hilarious. He never starts with a capital letter, so it is kind of funny. But whatever. Little things like that are funny. What I've been thinking is that the reason it's harder to get energy into smaller objects, so you can't be a little more precise. The idea is they say that somehow the lighter mass, okay, the half mass twice the distance from the fulcrum, somehow is harder to move than the other mass, the heavy mass. That somehow it has more inertia. So they have this idiotic concept that somehow things are resisting moving, when all they're saying is you have to put fuel in, and if you don't put fuel in the tank, it doesn't go anywhere. And obviously, if the engine's big, then you got to put a lot of fuel in, and if the engine's little, you put a little fuel in. One little tiny motor, one little tiny drop. Big giant motor, lots of drops. You want to spin a little pinwheel, you put it in the stream, it moves really easy. Big giant water wheel, well, you're going to need a lot more energy to move that. So that's the only idea of inertia is you have to give it the energy or it can't go anywhere, it can't do anything. If it has 1,000 atoms to move, you have to give it enough energy to spread on 1,000 atoms. You can't give them the same energy you gave one atom. Hard to get energy into smaller object is that you spend more of your energy chasing, okay, the thing you are moving. So this would be true in like the wind, right? So because wind doesn't go in infinite speed, it's not very fast. So you have a 30-mile-an-hour wind. Well, once your boat is going 30 miles an hour, it's really hard to get any more energy into it. So you can sit in the wind for an awful long time, and you're not going to go 30 and then 40 and then 50 and then 60. It's not going to happen because the force that's pushing you is the same speed as as you're going. So you're done increasing your speed. But gravity, okay, is like light. It's going the speed of light. So there's no problem. You're not going anywhere near so fast that the force can't catch up to you anymore. And certainly things like explosions, for example, the particles are moving very fast. Not the speed of light, but they could be going half the speed of light, a quarter the speed of light, really fast. The bullet's going really slow by comparison to the particles that are going to be pushing the bullet. So, bullshit is the simple answer to that crap. All right, a light thing moves easy, so you have to chase it. So again, nothing chases anything. Now, it is a truth that when a spring, for example, you're pushing something with a spring, the spring's moving a constant velocity, essentially. I mean, it wants to go one speed. And your mass slows it down, and so it pushes you and loses some speed. And the basic idea is, again, it has a limited speed. It can't go the speed of light. It's going some, 5,000 miles an hour or something like that. It's probably less, right? Because it doesn't really make a huge amount of sound. It makes some sound, so there's probably some parts of it that move faster than sound, but not much faster than the speed of sound. So it can't move things faster than that. It can only move things as fast as the spring can recoil. So that's its limit. All right. Let's see. And so it's just a fact that if you're trying to push something with a spring and it's very light, you'll get very little energy that's in the spring into the object because the spring will oscillate when it's done and you'll have plenty of energy left. If you push something heavy with a spring, it's easy to get the energy in because once you get the object to move away from the spring's moving very slowly, so it only oscillates a little bit. Fun fact. Anyway. But when the object stops, it gives all its energy back. So I don't know what that exactly means. Obviously nothing, if it hits a brick wall, it'll be obvious whether it reflects. Then it's not giving any energy away, so it gets all of its energy back in the reflection. And if it runs out of energy, like rolling across a surface, obviously there's no energy back. It vibrated the ground. It transferred its energy. It gave it. The bowling ball gives its momentum to the pins. It doesn't give the pins new momentum. It gives the pins the momentum it had. I mean, they really don't get the whole transferring of energy idea at all. But that's all the energy does. It just keeps moving. It never stops. If you could grab a piece of energy and, and you had some magical device that allowed you to see its history, it's got a billions of years of history. That energy has been somewhere before. It's always been somewhere. All right. You can't create it and destroy it. It keeps migrating through the universe, constantly, forever. All right. Okay. But when the object stops, it gives all its energy back for the same reason in reverse. So I don't even know what the hell that could possibly mean, that sentence. Put another way, if I jump off the side of an oil tanker, the tanker is so heavier move so slowly in the opposite direction from my jump? And the argument would be it won't do any of that. So once you have so much mass that you can't give it a minimum velocity, that's when you just get a reflection. So you're not really going to move the earth when you walk. You know, those things really aren't going to happen. You're going to move the surface. You're going to vibrate molecules on the surface, but you're not going to move the earth. All right. That's all the energy is reflected into me and my jump. So this is an experiment we haven't seen yet, but the simple experiment is you take a spring and you put a one mass on one side and a one mass on the other side. So you have a compressed spring and you release it, and the two masses fly off at a velocity. And my simple argument is if I attach this spring to a brick wall, give it the same compression, and then launch that one mass object, it's going to go twice the velocity. Because it's not going to give the other side any momentum. It's not going to put any energy into the brick wall. It's going to put all of its energy into the thing that's moving. So when something doesn't yield, because it's too massive to yield, because it can't absorb any useful amount of energy, because it can't move all of its atoms. So you have to sort of think that the electrons are going to move. And if the electrons can't keep moving, that is, they can't jump, then they're going to move back to the atom they were in. So if you don't make the electrons jump to the next atom, they go back to their home atom reflection. Okay. That's all the energy is reflected into me and my jump. So at least he's got that right, that you're not going to move the boat. He's not saying that, but it's the same thing. If I jump off a rowboat, the rowboat will move away from me about as fast as I can jump. So it won't move that fast because it's probably going to be heavier. Well, I don't see a boat. Hard to say. But there's certainly going to be a lot of friction between the boat and the water, so it's not going to acquire your velocity. You're going to be moving faster than the boat probably will be. And I'll fall almost straight down, and half of my energy will go into moving the lighter thing. So that's the question. It's not just about its lightness, it's about what surface it's connected to. So if I have two magnets stuck to each other, and you push on one of them, you have to push with a lot of force before they'll absorb any of the energy. So when you are accelerating a light object, it's the same thing. The heavier object is helping you out by moving slow and steady. So this is true for springs. Springs give more of their energy. Their total efficiency increases the heavier the object is you're pushing, the greater efficiency in getting the energy out of the spring. And the lighter the object you're pushing, the less efficiency in getting the energy out of the spring. It's a really important variable, a very important fact that all of these amateur experimentalists couldn't care less about. Okay. And not flying away. The energy is all going into the ball directly as opposed to kicking back. So I don't know what the hell, where did a ball show up in here? Okay, so one more little sentence of mush. The thing is, this doesn't really match the instantaneous. So we know there's nothing instantaneous, so that's all kind of bullshit. Calculus-based concepts too well. Yeah, the formulas are... trying to say in a simplistic generality a rule that applies in all cases, and it just doesn't work. So it's much like MGH. It's a special case. It doesn't have anything to do with most cases of things flying around in the universe. It just doesn't work that way. Things don't just arrive in a gravitational field and then be pulled by it. They have their own velocity, and that velocity has to be combined to make you understand that, well, gravity is a time-dependent force, so if you're a speeding meteor, don't expect to gain a lot of acceleration from Earth's gravity, because you won't. All right. let's see, where what's really going on is changing area under the force curve and instantaneous force and velocity. So there's just nothing instantaneous about anything. It's just a silly word. Nobody of a scientific mind should bother with it. This is part of physics for poets. I don't even... This is sort of physics for poets idea. Explaining it without calculus. You can explain everything without calculus. Calculus doesn't explain anything. Calculus is only useful if you need some specific answer. You know, I could look at a dog and I could say, well, the dog weighs 35 pounds. Well, maybe it weighs 36.7. Do I need to find that out? No. So if you don't need a specific answer, yeah, who cares? 9.8. 10. Okay, let's just call it 10. What the fuck? I mean, it's just silly to think math has something to do with any of that shit. They're concepts. Ugh. Let's see. Hi there, Pyre. Hope you're well. Oh, we're all not so good because we're all fucktarded, scheming, lying pieces of scum. They really are. All these guys are crooks their whole life. They poo in other people's food. They do all kinds of disgusting things and are proud of it. Thanks for your comment and sharing your thoughts and doing it wordy, even though it's more complex than this. But I appreciate the wordy approach as it makes much more sense to me. Makes sense to me. So whatever that means. Oh, we typed more. When pushing a lighter mass, there is an element of catching, keeping up. So again, the force of gravity is the speed of light. Okay, so you're not going to catch up. All right, I suppose, it's a stream. A stream could be moving, 20 knots, 30 knots. It's not that fast. I suppose, and the need to then keep increasing the energy to further accelerate it faster and faster. So I wonder what force they're actually talking about here. That this is an issue. What circumstance does this have anything? How does this have anything to do with billiard balls or levers or Newton's cradle? How does this have anything to do with any of these things? Oh, that's right. It doesn't have a damn thing to do with any of it. All right, the tank and the boat jump example is interesting, as the jump should give equal and opposite forces in both cases. We will have to ponder on that one. So again, where they could say, you know what, I wish they had done all these experiments, because they should see if you can actually move a tanker by jumping off of it, just to see if it actually works. Can you do that? Thanks for the input, Piero, and getting my cogs turning. Whatever, cogs. Ooh, Brozo. I was kind of hoping the biosphere ate him too. But anyway, so he's off topic. So great. So this video must have been so brilliant that they're just off topicing now. Okay, off topic. Could have done with your bike maintenance skills earlier, Michael. Okay, this is buckle cutting steak. I thought guess I don't have stuffed steel stamps. I don't know what this is. Resorted to using old flat. So he's using a butter knife or something to fix something. Oh, fuck it. Never mind. It really is off subject. All right, so this John Walker loony. This is a loony. This is like flat earth crazy. Like someone claiming to have a new theory about how balls roll. And they certainly deserve a Nobel for it. Well, if they have a new theory and it's right, yeah, because that's pretty good, right? Something very basic that you didn't, nobody observed for thousands of years. Yeah, that probably would deserve it. All existing theories about balls rolled are false and obsolete. So you're not going to really say anything here, right? So their argument is that gravity is linear. So you can't slide across thin ice. It's not possible. That's their theory. Because the force of your weight is always the same. No matter how fast you go across the surface feels the same weight. Because your weight is instantaneous and constant. Yeah, so, I mean, too stupid. So that's what they're arguing, apparently. Morons. He certainly talks a lot of balls. So they waste so much time with all these. They think they're witty. The only Nobel Prize he will receive is rusty old box knockers found in a skip like the precision calibrated. All right, so what is this? It's such a waste of time. So again, if I'm found to be correct, find this asshole's grave, find his kid's grave, find his wife's grave, and piss the fuck on them. Because damn, he's such an obnoxious, arrogant, ignorant fuck. He doesn't know shit about any of these subjects and just talks this shit. Alright, so they're just going to talk this nonsense about some See, they can't even stay in the fucking subject of the fucking physics. That's how much they don't give a damn. So look, Goofy's latest upload, a bit of a long one, LOL. What's the point of that shit? Oh, I hope you don't have COVID. Oh, they're always talking about their little snotty noses. Oh, sore throat. No, shake. Oh, God, it's so insufferable. Oh, this spar. I'm pretty much done watching his videos. Excellent. Great idea. I'm done with yours a while ago. Now, the last video, I did mention him, right? So I said, okay, what the fuck? He made a video actually talking physics. So I said, okay, let's go ahead and do this. It was 3 minutes. He didn't say a goddamn thing. And he said he was going to be making this follow-up video where he's going to explain in more detail. Never did it. And, I made it clear that the thing you have to explain is how my proposed free energy machine can't work by your theory. What about the kinetic energy theory says I can't make that machine? All right, incredibly repetitive, same mantra every single day. Why repeat yourself thousands of times? Well, because I haven't been responded to thousands of times. There's no counter argument. So until I hear the counter argument and I lose the argument, then I'm going to keep making the argument. And it's your choice to say, hey, you know what? I've already heard all these arguments. I'll just wait until something happens. You don't have to watch the videos, retard. I mean, you really don't. They're not intended for you. They're just intended to say, I'm just going to keep saying, hey, look, these arguments are all sitting here. I got these 5-minute videos, no responses, all these arguments against kinetic energy. They can't make a single coherent, rational response to any of these arguments. None. As soon as you make a rational counter argument, I take the videos down. I point out how those videos are no good or whatever. That subject anyway. But you can't do it. And you won't do it. Alright, he could just make one video, set it live, and loop it endlessly. I could, but, I don't think that's quite as good because, frankly, I do learn something through this process. Right? I didn't think about levers, and I didn't think about the fact that when you lift it up, it's just counterweights. This is a counterweight to that weight, and that weight's a counterweight to this weight. So I can't really do any work. It didn't occur to me. The whole spring argument didn't occur to me 4 months ago. Yeah. I didn't know it. I hadn't discovered that truth yet. So the arguments just keep getting better. Maybe that's the part you don't like. All right. Let's see. I could come back next year. Great. I mean, again, where does anybody ever tell you have to watch a video? It's just so silly. I know what videos to watch. Sometimes I watch something over and over and over again because, it's got a challenging idea in it. And I'm trying to tease it out. I've watched the Feynman lectures at least 24 times, at least. At the end, it will just be an old tape recorded echoing through the abandoned basement, through the abandoned YouTube channel, remaining unheard forever. Yeah, that's your opinion, okay? And I hope you get what you deserve, you little slandering, wrong, ignorant putz, okay? You're just an ignorant shit talker, and you should get what you fucking goddamn deserve. You're a rude, stupid, ignorant fuck. A dumb Muslim. Alright. So then Falwell chimes in with just more nonsense. If he did that, though, what else would he do with his life? Because he doesn't have a life. Yeah, well, fuck you. Alright. You're the one saddled with nothing, in Arkansas or whatever. I mean, he lives the life of an Arkansasian. Okay, and he's going to tell me about how rich his life is. Hilarious. If he didn't talk complete nonsense on the internet daily, he may as well. See, this is just a waste of my time. Let's see. I get where you're coming from. It has gone on way too long now. The same thing over and over. Yeah, the fact that there's no fucking good evidence. Yeah. Nobody should talk about that, though. Because science isn't about evidence. It's not really about testing things. And saying, well, that experiment isn't very coherent. You're dropping something and then you're slowing it down with a string that's creating more force, so it's putting more force into the object. I mean, but they couldn't care less. As long as it says, we all love the Holy Ghost, that's all they care about. It's just a religion. Let's see. Some folks just can't be educated, I suppose. Yeah, well, I hope you choke on those words. Get what you fucking goddamn deserve, you hunk of scum. Hope you are well, my friend. You're my friend because, like me, you're a science bigot. It's all comes down to. I just checked random parts of the video to see if he has anything new or if he mentions you or me or Falwell. So it's just kind of funny. Me, are you, or Falwell? You're on Falwell's channel. There's nothing interesting by him. Whatever. I mean, obviously, I've been engaged for 20 days with a back and forth email conversation with a physics teacher that's, again, bizarre. I should point out that, the email thing, the one person did respond. So it was the Bruce Yerney guy. And he's another physics teacher. I mean, he's very much like Paul Nord. I mean, they almost fit in the same category. And so these are the guys teaching kids. Anyway, and it's just so incoherent. He doesn't understand what the email's about. He doesn't understand, and he's sending it to Veritasium and all these other people to say, well, what's this email? What's it about? It's just hilarious that he can't figure it out. You can't figure. I mean, it's signed by me. It points out this is the email address if you want to know, and it's nothing. It's just amazing that he can't figure out just to inquire. I mean, it links to videos explaining. I mean, it links right to Steve Mould's video, and he can't figure out what it's about. That's amazing stupidity. Anyway, you put up your community post, MM. Oh, he's still doing that shit. It's a spar person. It's lots of evidence and arguments. Well, I can't find them. Let's see. I do the same, and the coward pretends none of it exists. No, I responded to it for weeks, months, even you could say years of putting up with your nonsense. Your contrived, shitty experiments trying to do only one thing. Force it to come out your way. And that's what you've all been proven guilty of, is you're just forcing it. All right. I don't block anyone. Yeah, because you don't need to yet, jackass. Oh, just amazing nonsense. So he could argue through messages which he doesn't even attempt. Why should I? Why you could make a civil video explaining your theory and you don't do that. Instead, you make a video just a litany of insults. Most 90% of my videos is me explaining a physics concept. I'm asking you, well, just provide your counter argument. It's pretty easy to do. You can summarize my argument pretty simply. Oh, that crazy person says momentum controls levers. Well, then you explain how momentum doesn't control them. Yeah, you do that. Fucking idiot. Let's see. Something basement pretending to be a champion. Whatever. I don't pretend to be anything, ever. Okay? Well, I do some pantomime now and then. But it's very rare nowadays. Fuck you. I mean, the very fact that this was a real controversy for 150 years, and then the fact that it wasn't, the controversy didn't end because they came up with some decisive piece of evidence. They actually measured 4 pounds dropped 1 foot and 1 pound dropped 4 feet, and then they proved the case. None of that happened, retard. And so if you're to claim that there's nothing here to talk about, again, just proves you hate science. You don't love science, you don't like science, you despise science. Because science is doing exactly what I'm doing, saying, you know what, this isn't complete. This isn't good enough. You have to provide real evidence. Again, you don't think they should actually do the Eddington experiment from space. Right? They've had 50 years to do it. It takes 5 minutes. You don't need an eclipse, and you can do it with an inferior camera. And they haven't done it. And you think that's good physics. That's what scum you are. Pretending you're defending science when you're attacking the core of it. All right. Yes, I caught him saying that, covering all his bases. I caught him saying what? He knows real physics would not give him the time of day. So again, why would I want the time of day from real physics when I'm pointing out real physics is just a religion? Okay, never mind, take the time to perform an experiment for the ignoramus. So it's not for science. They shouldn't prove it for the sake of science. They should only do it because somebody forces them to. So again, that's your definition of what science is. My definition is that's showing no integrity. Okay, which means he can carry on spouting his moronic, ignorant ramblings, which you haven't demonstrated him to be either moronic or ignorant. And you've demonstrated yourselves to be completely dishonest. Like Dispar, leaving up videos that have been proven to be poorly conceived. You know, knocking the milk carton over. Very poorly conceived experiment. All right, pretend you have provided something. You would have no way to explain or excuse why a probe of 25 momentum, all right, I don't know what the hell this could be about. He would have no way to explain or excuse why a probe of 25 momentum only does the same amount of work as a probe with 5 momentum. So he thinks this is a real experiment? Okay, because he obviously doesn't buy into K.E. fable. Yeah, that's right. So that's, you're conceding my point. Sorry for the late reply, my friend. So really, they're doing groundbreaking science where they're going to prove that very different things with different momentums can do the same amount of work, and things with the same momentum can't do the same work. They're gonna prove that. I get a notification. I just get notified when clicking blah 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 blah. I don't even know what that means. All right, so let's play this. Whatever this horse of shit is, horse of shit. Okay. Anyway, saying so does not make it so. That's the exact point I've been making for fucking 10 years. That's all science does. They say so. They say there's quarks. They say there's neutrinos. They say there's Higgs bosons. Have they really shown you any evidence? And that's the whole point. You're satisfied with shit as evidence. Again, the Eddington experiment, if done from space, could show you a beautiful image. You know, a video even. They could do a video of it. You know, of the solar, you know, the star actually moving eccentrically. They could do that, but you don't care. You don't need to see it. They just have to tell you it happens, and that's all that you need. Because you're a dumb fuck and a religious kook. Okay, it's so evidence does not lie. So it doesn't make any sense. And the evidence is where? In your pocket? In your dirty fucking basement? No, that's bullshit. You gotta do better than that. You're gonna prove the same momentum can't do the same work. You're gonna have to do a better experiment than your shitty experiment, you fucktard.
Okay, that's all.
Oh, yeah, I won't be able to understand him.
What you say, or you keep saying, with the lever, it's going to go twice the velocity.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to go twice the velocity. That's right. It's spinning and it's going to do twice the velocity. And if I stop it, it's going to do twice the velocity. And as Stephen Bro found out, okay, it goes damn fast. At least we saw that in Steve's video, right? You're going to claim that that was 1.4? I mean, it was obviously so close to twice as fast. There's just no way you could argue that little yellow ball. You saw the video, you fucking liar. Was going 1.4. You know better. You know it went all the way to the other side and back, and the same time the other ball just went 1. You know it's so damn close to twice as fast. You know it, you lying piece of shit. Oh, I mean, talk about how someone else is denying evidence. God, you people are just such scum. Oh, that's right, I'm playing the video. How disappointing. All right, let me fix the volumes here. Oh, I just hate this planet.
It doesn't matter how many times you say it. Saying it so doesn't make it so. It's that.
You can keep saying this kind of crap, and I'm not the one saying it so beyond just saying, where's your evidence? Where's the proof? Where is it? Let's do the experiment. I'm the one defending having the experiments done well. Why won't you get on board and say, yes, let's prove it? Let's actually create a volume of experimental evidence demonstrating the truth. Let's crash some cars and see if 10 miles an hour does this much damage, and then 20 miles an hour does 4 times the damage, and that 30 miles an hour does 9 times the damage, and 40 miles an hour does 16 times the damage, and then 50 miles an hour does 25 times the damage. Why won't you agree that, yeah, we should do that experiment? Why? You liar. That's not difficult for you to do, is to say, raise your hand and say, yes, I wish they would do the fucking experiment. You fucking piece of shit. You're not the one who wants the truth. You're afraid of the goddamn truth.
That's simple. Evidence doesn't lie.
No. Oh, so again, this is just such nonsense for him to call these fucking shittily filmed garbage experiments evidence of anything except their effort to debunk me, okay, to try to take a shot at me, and they can't even do it competently.
Nature is what it is.
So again, more baby talk. Nature is what it is. Nature is... So what's the point of these comments? And again, I could just recite, you brought up nature, I could just recite the Professor Lowen statement. I mean, he clearly made it clear. Kinetic energy, okay, whatever. But momentum, you can't fuck with it. Yeah, take a little pause. Yeah, this is taking longer than I thought it would. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'll just do this once a month or something. All right, sufficiently nicotined, so now my brain is ready for the adventure.
If you think it does that, that's fine. You think it does that, but it doesn't, and you...
Okay, so he's saying something doesn't happen, so momentum isn't conserved. Levers don't conserve momentum. All right, and that's not supposed to be thought of as a bold statement. The most elemental tool you can get, and it doesn't conserve momentum. Archimedes was an idiot. Wrong. How could he be so fucking stupid not to realize that levers suck?
You're wrong. You can't show it because it doesn't happen.
Okay, I can't show it because the experiments haven't been done. That's the absolute truth. And I'm the one aggressively soliciting the experiments to be done. That's the fact. That's the truth. You're denying. You're pretending I'm doing something other than begging science to do the fucking experiments.
Now you're trying to contrive ways to make it happen.
What would that be? What's the contrived way I'm trying to make it happen? What exactly is that? I'm the one saying, hey, Fuck this, okay? I mean, it's an honest experiment, okay? But I didn't say it proves anything except momentum does work, okay? I'm perfectly satisfied. If this was 300 years ago and I saw this, I'd say, okay, good enough for me. That's pretty good evidence that, yeah, conservation of momentum works as an idea. Descartes was clever fella. I'm done. That's complete enough for me. All right, now if you can show me some dramatic experiment that's going to prove, wow, that's not the real truth. There's a spirits and souls inside of those little things. And there's all kinds of spirit energy. And they're going to do all kinds of shape shifting into little Pierrots. No, they're not. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen, moron.
It's beyond ridiculous.
Yes, it is beyond ridiculous that somebody arguing for science to actually prove what it claims, that's ridiculous. Why would anybody obligate science to actually do the experiments, especially when the experiments don't require billions of dollars or even millions of dollars, and they just require caution, care, a clinical environment, and a lot of thinking. Now, we've already demonstrated, right? The Mythbusters demonstrated that even scientists, right, people with degrees, neither one of them were physicists, as far as I know, which is a problem, and their advisors were obviously idiots. But even when they they wasted all the money to crash cars, and they first didn't figure out that, well, there's no place to put the gravitometer, right? If they're going to measure G-forces, there's nowhere to put it in the car to get the actual G-force reaction. So, I mean, they couldn't even figure out that, well, if the car is crushing, the G-forces aren't going to be the same as, it's a crushing car. So if I put it in the front, I'll get a different number than if I put it in the back. So right there was kind of silly. And then, we all know they made a difference. They were supposed to measure how much the clay was displaced, and how much was removed, how much fender moved, rather than how much car was left. So they did the measuring backwards, and then they didn't draw it very well. Where the angle is supposed to be 39 degrees, and well, whatever. But we know all that doesn't matter much because the experiment still shows no sign of kinetic energy, zero evidence for kinetic energy. But the fact is that we've seen experiments are, you got to be a little bit careful in how you do it, or you're going to deceive people. And that's my argument, right? So when they did those stupid little low friction carts with the metal wheels, I've pointed out that that's the last thing you want to do is have the wheels made out of metal, because the wheels store energy you can't see in the linear motion. The energy stored in the wheels isn't visible in the linear motion, you dumb fuck. Is that true or not true, you dumb fuck? And I pointed out that the air carts do have a fundamental flaw in that you have this huge added force you're putting in. Now, it's supposed to be benign and harmless, all this air you're pushing everything up with. But the fact is, if you actually go and build one, you'll find out, oh, it's not entirely harmless. A tiny defect can cause the cart to tilt, and it just becomes a rocket engine then. Not exactly a rocket, but you're clearly going to create an opportunity to create distortions if you're not very careful about how you do the experiments. That has been overwhelmingly demonstrated over the last few years, and you should be able to concede, yes, that has been demonstrated. You fucking weasel.
You repeat the same thing over and over. You've been shown over and over.
I just lie, so whatever this is. There's no even evidence. What are you fucking talking about? You've shown over and over again that somehow I have to believe levers don't conserve momentum?
It doesn't happen the way you think it does. Test it for
A little bit ambiguous.
yourself.
Oh, fuck this. So again, it's not... The physics shouldn't be decided by an experiment I do. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The truth is waiting for me to do the experiment? Nonsense. Again, all of these claims should have been done 350 years ago when Leibniz showed up and said 1 pound dropped 4 feet is the same as, 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same as 1 pound dropped 4 feet, even though it's dramatically not the same momentum. That is, one of them has twice the momentum as the other one. Not a small momentum difference, a gigantic momentum difference. And he had no experimental evidence. And you think that's good science. And I'm arguing that's absolute shit as science. You don't do that. And that was the only argument he had. He didn't bring up anything else.
And then you'll know, won't you? But to say you just dismiss all evidence.
That's a lie. So again, just keep lying. There, fine. You've done that. You just keep lying. All right. I don't dismiss all evidence. I've said stuff was interesting, but I mean the fact is that it's flawed. And again, your claim is so fucking extraordinarily bold. I mean, to make this argument that levers don't conserve momentum is just so fucking bold assertion. It's almost flat earth kind of an assertion. And you're going to sit there and tell me you don't have to produce good evidence? And I'm saying, fuck you.
But like I say, it's been shown to you in various different ways.
Over and over.
You can take out the lever, you can launch with a spring, there isn't enough energy.
All right, so we already looked. The launching with springs we know is a flaw. So Stephen Bro was absolutely not brilliant, but it was a great innovation to realize, look, I can put the spring on the lever, and that way I can make the lever move exactly the same for any velocity I want at the other end. And that way the spring always loses, or the spring's efficiency will be guaranteed to be the same. I won't have any efficiency problems. So again, you're arguing that my spring video is wrong. Now, if you're going to argue what I said in that spring video is wrong, you ought to play the fucking video and then you explain how I made a mistake, you lying piece of sack of shit. So just if you're going to say I'm wrong, demonstrate me to be wrong, you fucking piece of shit. Because I'm absolutely right, okay? And none of you fucking idiots figured it out. I figured it out. You didn't figure it out. Because you never thought about this physics from the very beginning. You're just in it to attack me. You're not in it because you give a fuck about any of this science. You weasel.
Get there to make it go twice as fast. It's that simple. You know, you're not arguing.
What the fuck did he say?
It's that simple. You know, you're not arguing with physicists, you're not arguing with...
What about this twice
As
as
mayor,
fast?
Steve Fulop earned a reputation for standing up to...
You're still not getting this, are you? And then you'll know. But like I say, it's been shown to you in various different ways. You can take out the lever, you can launch with a spring, there isn't enough energy.
There isn't enough energy. Okay, so there isn't enough energy. So he's arguing that Brozo's experiment was a lie. Okay, the fact that he got 19 and 11, which is damn close to 20 and 10, right? Just a little bit of a, one frame here, one frame there, it's 20 and 10. And if you look at the goddamn experiment, which he didn't just film and show in some reasonable way, I mean, I'd love to link to it, but it's such a shitty video, cut into all kinds of jerky pieces that it's just almost not worth. Can't get anything out of it. And the simple truth is the yellow ball is obviously going damn close to twice as fast, and only a lying sack of shit would deny that truth. It has every appearance of going damn close to twice as fast, and absolutely no appearance of going 1.4.
It there to make it go twice as fast. It's that simple.
Twice as fast. So he's arguing, right, that if you do put the same force, the same 9 pounds on one side, somehow I won't get 9 pounds of force on the other side, no matter where I put. If I proportionally lighten the object and going out, that I won't get the 9 pounds of force into each one of those objects. He's saying the lever fails to conserve momentum. A very bold statement, for which I haven't seen anything close to any evidence whatsoever. Certainly Steve Mould didn't produce any. Where did you produce it?
You know, you're not arguing with physicists, you're not arguing with us lot. You're arguing against nature, what you're saying.
All right, so just a big lie. There's absolutely no... They haven't compiled any evidence whatsoever. It's just a big fat lie that there's some fucking evidence. I keep begging them to show me this big piece of credible evidence. I'll put it on my website. I'll put it on the homepage of my website. Show me this credible pile of evidence. You lying sack of shit.
Suggesting is free energy. That's what you're trying to create.
So, big lie again, right? I'm the one arguing there's no possibility. Because if you conserve momentum, there's no opportunity to create any free energy. None.
Good luck with that one. So just to be clear here.
Clear. This is what a waste this was. This is just a waste. A silly, stupid waste video. No content, no substance, nothing. Gibberish.
Energy. Would I need to launch a half mass at twice the velocity? Perhaps I should ask an expert.
Oh, so this is amazing bullshit, right? He would know what an expert is. So let's understand the other side of their theory. They're arguing that if I put a 1.4 mass, okay, so I'm 1.4 the velocity. So I go two distances out on the lever, and I put 1.4 the velocity in here, right, for a 1 mass. Then I can make a 2 mass at one distance go 1 velocity. So a 2 times 1, 2, I can make with a 1.4 times 1, which is a 1.4. Yeah, so 1.4 in will get me 2 out. That's his theory, and he's calling me the free energy nut. He's telling me I am arguing for a free energy theory when his theory is 1.4 in, okay, will create a 2 mass going 1. Make sense out of that, fuckers. Go ahead, make sense out of that, you motherfucking pieces of garbage. Because that's absolutely idiotic. That's free fucking momentum. Duh.
And they won't be predicting it based on some notion that this...
So this is what he's going to do to my video. So yeah, that's fair, cop. So let's understand, I don't fuck with other people's videos when I'm playing them, but anyway. And certainly this quote mining crap isn't going to be worth anything. But his argument will not exist. There won't be any counter evidence to what I'm going to say in this video. He won't provide either logic, reasoning, or a physical experiment to demonstrate that I said anything incorrect here.
Or the lever can't do it. That it only goes 1.4 because it can't be moved twice as fast. No, the matter here can be moved twice as fast with this just using twice the energy. That's all it's going to take.
Okay, so I shouldn't have said twice the energy, okay? It's just going to be twice the velocity. So maybe he's going to make fun of the fact that I said the wrong word there. I mean, obviously it's the same energy for both objects, and it's going to go twice as fast. It's half the mass, it goes twice as fast.
To move this part of the lever twice as fast.
Oh, thanks for that. Brilliant. Nice one.
So that's it. So his counter argument was what? I don't know. There's a counter argument here somewhere? There's a counter theory that somehow here's why this lighter mass, this half mass, can't possibly equal that 2 mass going 1 velocity. It's not possible that it could happen. So even though this is proving the two are equal, because the same force is making this move one way then the other way. It's the same force, just switching sides. So how the fuck could it possibly be that it's perfectly balanced, but you're saying it can't happen? Oh, just amazing. All right. Well, this was probably a mistake. So anyway, we'll see if I bother trying to do this again. So anyway, enough of a video. Just these people are just such piles of garbage. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck.